How's it going, everybody? I am the Texas Man. I hope you guys are all having a fabulous day. Please give this video a thumbs up if you guys really enjoy it. Subscribe if you guys have not already. Also, do me the biggest favor of all. Hit that bell notification button so you guys don't miss out on future videos or streams here on my channel. And we are going to be doing the last part, part 4, the concluding part of the Nightmare Room. So make sure you guys, of course, check out part 1, part 2, and part 3. And this will be the last part. We're going to be, of course, reading the last 2 chapters of the Nightmare Room. I will be starting, of course, in chapter 8 if you guys are reading with me. After this, I will be moving on to the next book, which will be the Digital Doom Chronicles. So I hope you guys all look forward to that. If you guys hear any like funky noises or whatnot, I've got a cat right next to me that's just purring away a little bit. She just really wants to be right next to me. So I apologize if there's any like little kitty cat noises in the background. So that would be explaining it if there is any in this video. So, all right. With that, let's roll. Chapter 8. Intelligence arrives. Allies base. Ted and Chad entered the command room with Captain Brandon and Simon behind them. Everyone sat down and prepared for the conversation. I have a series of questions, so if you want to tell me what secrets you're keeping from me, do so, said Ted, sitting down in his chair. There was no answer. Simon, why did you come to the train during our operation? Asked Ted. There was no answer. Answer the general, said Captain Brandon. I knew what was inside of the bomb on board the train, so that is why I knew the special bomb I made would destroy the D-53A inside of Doom's bomb and the train also, said Simon. How? Asked Ted. Simon stuttered, not wanting to reveal his long-kept secret. I am, said Simon, unable to finish the sentence. What is it? Asked Chad. I'm the one that created the revolution. I was the first one to enter it, and Doom is my son, said Simon. What? Said Chad in a shocking tone. So you're a T-180 like Chad? Said Ted. Yes, said Simon. Why did you invent M22 when you're a T-180? Asked Ted. Although I received these powers, I realized no woman would love a nightmare creature, said Simon. What happened to your wife? Asked Chad. In my nightmare form, when I was drunk, I used my extreme strength and choked her to death, said Simon. After that day, I worked on making a cure to my curse, Simon continued. How did Doom become a T-180? Asked Ted. One night, while I was working, he stood on the revolution and vanished, said Simon. When Doom returned to this world, he left me, and I never saw him again, until today, Simon continued. Why did you keep this a secret from me? Asked Ted. I haven't had the time to tell you, with you always issuing orders, going to the front lines on helicopters, and locking yourself up in this room, said Simon. Suddenly, the door to the command room was opened. General Ted, your wife Sarah is in the emergency room, said the human, who opened the door. Ted raced out of the command room and within seconds was in the emergency room. Ryan was kneeling on the bed and crying. Doctor, what's wrong? Asked Ted. Your wife has brain cancer and has reached critical damage when she lost her ability to stand and talk, said the doctor. Will she make it? Asked Ted. Uh-oh. We ran some tests, said the doctor, shaking his head left and right while speaking. Chad and Brandon entered the emergency room and learned of the situation from the doctor. How long? Asked Ted. 10 hours, maybe 12, said the doctor. Is there anything you can do? Asked Chad. The damage has been done greater than any surgery could repair. I only wish the signs of the cancer came sooner, replied the doctor. Ted knelt by his son and began to cry with him. Let's leave them alone, said Brandon. The 3 humans left the emergency room. 6 hours later, Ryan was asleep in a chair outside of the emergency room, and Ted was still awake, knelt by Sarah's deathbed. Ted, said Sarah softly. Ted looked at Sarah's face to realize she was talking to him. Ted, I love you, said Sarah. I love you too, said Ted. Take care of our son and destroy Doom, said Sarah. I will, said Ted. I will see you soon also, said Sarah. Ted was confused. I wish I could have seen, said Sarah, not finishing her statement. Ted looked towards the monitor to see that her brain was dead and her heart had no more pulse. Ted fell down, face first, to the floor and began to scream and cry louder than ever. Ryan, Chad, Brandon, and several doctors dashed into the room. "She's gone!" yelled Ted. The doctors attempted to revive her, but eventually they gave in to the fact that she was dead and she was no longer part of this nightmare war. "Burn her body," said Ted, before returning to the command room. The next day, 8:30 a.m. "Sir, we have intelligence about Doom's hideout, also known to us as the Alliance main base of operations," said Chad Brandon, inside of the command room. "What type of intelligence?" asked General Ted. "The location of the Alliance main base," replied Brandon. "Where?" asked Ted. "The house that you sold to Doom with much more protection," said Brandon. "We also learned something about Doom," said Chad, also in the command room. "What?" asked Ted. "We believe Dr. Doom has a link between the T-180s and himself," said Chad. "If we kill Doom, we might be able to destroy the link and turn all the T-180s into humans forever," Chad continued. This is the best intelligence that has arrived in months," said Ted. "What are we going to do now?" asked Brandon. "We are going to launch the world's largest military attack on the Alliance base tomorrow," said Ted. Chapter 9. End of Days. Alliance Base. "Sir, we have learned that you were followed here after the bomb on the train exploded," said a T-180. "What? You allowed the humans to track me?" asked Doom. "No matter. Soon the Allies will come, and I will bring the end to them all," Doom continued. Allies Base. Ted walked up towards the microphone and spoke this to the entire Allies army over the radio that was wired throughout all the Allies bases. "This is General Ted with an important message. I am ordering all humans, helicopters, airplanes, and warships to prepare to gather together to launch Operation Shutdown against Doom's hideout. All the details have been transferred to your commanders. If the Allies win this assault, we will finally win this war. This is General Ted, signing off." "General Ted, your helicopter is ready," said Captain Brandon, entering the command room. General Ted boarded the helicopter and, along with Simon, Chad, and Brandon, left the Allies base and began the ride to the final battle arena. It was now July 4th, 2034, and 9 a.m. when Ted gave another speech before Operation Shutdown began. "Today you will be joined by other humans in a battle that will determine who will reign over this planet. Today not only will we be fighting for an end to this war, but we will be fighting for peace, freedom, and independence. Just remember that while you're in the heat of battle, to remember that today is the 4th of July. Today we will celebrate our Independence Day once Doom is defeated. Today is the end of days for Doom. Today the Alliance falls. Obey your ranking commanders, and may God be with you. This is General Ted, signing off." "Captain Brandon, launch Operation Shutdown," said General Ted, both on the same helicopter as Chad and Simon. "All Allied forces, begin the assault," said Captain Brandon through his earpiece. Airplanes and warships were used in the operation first and destroyed all the communication and missile towers. Next, the cavalry of thousands of humans on the ground and in helicopters clashed with the army of T-180s guarding the house that Doom was inside of at the time. "General Ted, I know where Doom is and the way into the house," said Captain Brandon. "Where in the house is he?" asked Ted. "We believe that Doom is inside of the nightmare room that once contained the Revolution," said Brandon. "Let's go," said Ted to Brandon, Chad, and Simon. Brandon showed the other three humans an underground tunnel that passed a mile of landmines and barbed wire. "Where does this tunnel lead?" asked Chad. "Somewhere in the basement of the house," replied Brandon. "Let's get going then," said Ted. The group traveled through the tunnel, walked through the house, and stood at the door to the nightmare room. "Are you ready?" asked Ted, to his friends and family. The four humans loaded their guns with a full clip of M22 bullets and waited for Brandon to open the door. 3, 2, 1, go, said Ted to Brandon. Brandon opened the door and raced inside, only to be shot in the head by someone. The other three humans dashed inside and ran for cover behind a bookshelf, while the murderer used a bed for cover and tried to shoot them also. "Surrender, Doom," said Ted. "Never," answered Doom. There are three of us with machine guns full of M22 against just you with a pistol, said Chad. "Son, just give up," said Simon. "Look outside and realize that the Alliance is falling," said Ted. "I'll never surrender to a group of humans," said Doom. The two sides opened fire on each other, but after some time there was no more ammunition for Doom or the humans to reload with. Hand-to-hand combat. Try that again. Hand-to-hand combat it is then, I guess, said Doom. Doom, Chad, and Simon transformed into a T-180, and the battle began. At first, Simon battled Doom, doing hand-to-hand combat, while Ted and Chad acted as backup. "You're too easy to kill," said Doom to Simon, while Ted pulled out a knife from a pocket. "Doom, this doesn't have to continue," said Simon. "Look outside that window again, and tell me who is winning this battle and war," Simon continued. "Sorry, Dad, but if I'm going down, then I'm going down with a fight," said Doom. Doom charged at Simon, swung his left wing, smashed Ted and Chad up against a brick wall, clashed into Simon, and resulted in Doom pinning Simon against a wall and holding his throat. Doom looked into his father's eyes and increased his strength to choke Simon. Simon ran up to the back of Doom. Ted ran up to the back of Doom and lunged his knife at him. Doom's body fell to the ground along with Simon's body. Ted had stabbed Doom with a knife near the heart. "Is he?" asked Chad. "Simon is dead," answered Ted. Bang! Chad turned around to see that Doom had shot Ted with a new pistol near the lungs. Chad rolled on the wooden floor and picked up a missile launcher nearby. Doom pointed his pistol at Chad and pulled the trigger, but the pistol had no more bullets. "I now declare your doom on you, Dr. Doom Sport. The end of days between the Allies and the Alliance," said Chad. Chad pulled the trigger on the missile launcher, and the result was Doom with a gigantic hole in his chest. What was freakier was that the missile took the heart with it before it blasted out of the nightmare room and through a window. Doom transformed into a human and into a small pile of dust. Chad ran over to check his brother's status and realized Ted Taylor had passed away, joining his wife Sarah in heaven. Chad kneeled down and began to weep for his loss. At last, Independence Day was ready for celebration. The White House, 31 years later, 2065. World War III had come to an end. Since Doom was killed, every T-180 returned to a regular human form, and I was injected with M22 to end my nightmare curse. The house was burned down with Captain Brandon, Scientist Simon, Dr. Doom, and my brother, General Ted's bodies. With my brother gone, I took command of the human population and began to reconstruct a worldwide civilization. And so that is how World War III came to an end, said Chad Taylor. Great Uncle Chad, can you tell me the story again, since my dad is now here? Said a 10-year-old boy, looking at Ryan after telling the story to Ryan's son. Sure, said Chad, starting to tell the Nightmare Room story again, with Ted's son, Ryan, and Ryan's son, Tristan. It was Ted's son, Ryan, and Ryan's son, Tristan, inside of the Noble Office. The end. And we did it, guys. We have finished the Nightmare Room. I hope you guys all enjoyed. Look forward to the Digital Doom Chronicles coming out very soon. It's kind of based within my appreciation and love for Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, and the Chronicles of Unit 4. You guys have a good one. I'll see you guys in the next video.